luxury submarine. The combination of improving technologies and increasing number of people with the wealth to buy expensive vessels means that manufacturers are coming up feet. In theory, there's no limit to their range because of the fuel cells they use, and the only reason they ever need to surface is to load food and provisions for the 109 crew on board. There's space on board for 38 weapons, which can be made up of Tomahawk Block 4 cruise missiles and Spearfish heavyweight torpedoes, all of which can be launched through the 6 21-inch torpedo tubes. Fitted with the latest sensor technology, Astute-class subs know exactly what's around them to allow for precision strikes. And with extremely quiet engines, they can sneak up on an enemy before their target has any clue that they're there. There's no doubt that these are some of the most dangerous vessels in the ocean, and very few countries have anything at their disposal that's capable of counteracting them. Breacher X. Not all subs have to be about exploration or military dominance, and a company called Sea Breacher has designed a class of high-speed submersible that's aimed firmly at wealthy extreme sports enthusiasts. Known as the Sea Breacher X, and often designed to look like aquatic animals like sharks or dolphins, these vessels are fitted with 300 horsepower engines that put them on par in terms to their power-to-weight ratio with a Lamborghini or Bugatti supercar. With a top speed of around 50 miles per hour, you can bounce across the waves and dive into the water, and have fins that are designed to enable insanely sharp turns, barrel rolls, and a number of other high-octane maneuvers. This is about as much fun as you can have on water, and is set to replace jet skis as the must-have aquatic toy. And they don't cost as much as you might expect, with prices starting at $80,000. While there's a number of people who will buy one for their private use, resorts around the world are looking into the viability of adding some of these to their offering. You could well find there's one available to hire the next time you go on vacation. Number 7. U-Boat Super Yacht Sub 3. U-Boat Works is a company based in the Netherlands that's been creating personal submarines since 2005. With more than 15 years' experience in the field, it's one of the world leaders for submarine design, and one of the most recent models to be revealed was the Super Yacht Sub 3. Intended to be stored and launched from a super yacht, it's billed as the most compact private submarine that money can buy. But despite its size, it offers an incredibly comfortable journey beneath the waves with an impressive viewing bubble that allows passengers to see all around. It's able to reach a maximum depth of 1,000 feet, and there's room on board for 3 passengers. It's powered by lithium-ion batteries and can be deployed for 12 hours at a time between charges, with a top speed of 3 knots, which is the equivalent to around 3.5 miles per hour. Unlike most submersibles, the Super Yacht Sub 3 doesn't need an expert pilot, because it's fitted with a series of safety measures to allow anyone to handle the controls. It won't go lower than its maximum depth, for example, and can be fully controlled by an easy-to-use remote device. It also has a buoy connected to it so the crew on the surface know the sub's location at all times. And there's even a mechanical claw that allows those on board to interact with the ocean environment around them. Number 6. Deep Sea Challenger. Since the invention of the first submarine, people have been wondering quite how deep it's possible to go in one. And with the Deep Sea Challenger, Archer and Project Limited created a vessel that's able to reach the deepest depths that the ocean has to offer. A 24-foot-long submersible was created for James Cameron in his quest to journey to the bottom of Challenger Deep, which is the deepest part of the ocean in the world in the Mariana Trench in the Pacific, But to enable it to do this, the sub is designed very differently to others you may be familiar with. The first major difference is that instead of being a horizontal design, it has a vertical orientation. And at 11.8 tons, its sole job is to sink into the water as quickly and as safely as possible. There's room for just one person on board, inside a pilot's sphere that's just 43 inches in diameter. And to withstand the extreme pressures that are exerted on it at depths it's designed to go to, it's surrounded by steel walls that are 2.5 inches thick. It can be maneuvered by 12 thrusters that are positioned around its circumference and holds enough oxygen to support the pilot for up to 56 hours. Most of its weight is ballast that's used to make it sink, and when it's time to return, this ballast is released and the vessel floats back to the surface. Of course, in the depths of the trench, there's no chance of rescue, so as backup, the brackets that hold the ballast are designed to corrode in seawater after a set amount of time. So even if the release mechanism fails, the sub will eventually make the return trip before the oxygen supply runs out. It may not be the prettiest or most comfortable submarine in the world, but the Deep-Sea Challenger is the only one that can reach any part of the ocean while at the same time allowing the pilot to see outside, so is definitely one of the most epic subs on Earth. Number 5. Migaloo M7. The incredible 928-foot-long M7 is the flagship design of Migaloo Private Submersible Yachts, a company based in Austria. And as the name would suggest, this isn't just a submarine, but it's a private yacht as well. With a design based on the U.S. Navy's Zumwalt-class destroyers, the M7 certainly holds up as a yacht in its own right, with a helipad, a swimming pool, several VIP suites, and a number of hangar bays to store tender and toys in. At a cost of up to $1 billion, it's far more expensive than most yachts, but that's because the M7 has a secret weapon. When those on board are tired of surface life, the pool can be covered, the hangar bays are closed, and it can begin to submerge beneath the surface. It can reach an impressive maximum depth of 1,500 feet, where it can stay for up to 24 hours at a time before needing to surface, and has a top speed underwater of 20 knots, which is the equivalent of 23 miles an hour. When they're underwater, guests can make use of the jacuzzi, a movie theater, a gaming room, and a library, and the food's served within a 36-seat dining room that has glass-paneled windows, so guests can look out at the environment around them. Not only does the submersible yacht give a whole new perspective on the ocean, but it also allows crews to avoid choppy waters and storms, because they can simply sail beneath them. And while no one has officially placed an order for one of these vessels yet, it's just likely a matter of time until one is sailing the seas. Number 4. Deep Flight Dragon. If there's not much space on a super yacht to fit a full submersible, or for the times when you want to be closer to the marine environment than most private submersibles allow, the Deep Flight Dragon could well be the best choice. It's the most lightweight and compact personal submersible that's available. It feels like you're flying or hovering in the water. The quad brushless DC motors are arranged in a way that makes it look like a quadricopter, and its manufacturers say you'll get the same level of control and maneuverability. There's room inside the 16.4-foot-long vehicle for one pilot and one passenger, and it can reach a depth of up to 330 feet at a speed of 3 knots. It's ideal for exploring wrecks and reefs and is fitted with high-beam LED lights to allow for nighttime voyages too. The controls are so simple to use that virtually anyone will be able to pilot it, and the company behind it hopes that by making these commonplace on yachts and water sports venues across the world, they'll make undersea exploration available to anyone. Number 3. Virginia-class submarines. The Seawolf-class submarines are by far the most powerful in the U.S. Navy, but their extreme cost means that the focus is now on the newly designed Virginia-class. They are nuclear-powered fast attack subs that first entered service in 2004 and are expected to continue in operation till at least 2060. The subs are 377 feet long and 34 feet wide, and because they have a nuclear fuel cell, they have an unlimited range. They hold a crew of up to 135 members, have a max depth of up to 1,000 feet, and can travel at up to 29 miles per hour in silent operation, or more than that if engine noise isn't a concern. As you'd expect from a new design, Virginia-class submarines are equipped with an unbelievable arsenal, some of which have been officially announced in public, and some of which are just rumored, since the full details are classified. They have 12 vertical launch system tubes that are used for Tomahawk missiles, 4 torpedo tubes, and can store 25 torpedoes and 12 missiles at any one time. There's also the suggestion that each of these subs is fitted with high-energy laser weapon that's built into one of the masts. It's also thought to be capable of having power output of 500 kilowatts and can interfere with and potentially incapacitate enemy forces. Number 2. U.S. Submarines Phoenix 1000. U.S. Submarines is another company that specializes in luxury submarine design, and its current flagship model is called the Phoenix 1000. Costing upwards of $80 million, this incredible vessel has 5,000 square feet of interior space, within which are cabins, a dining room, and plenty of acrylic viewing windows to look out into the surrounding ocean. There's a galley on board so guests can be wined and dined while they're journeying at depths of up to 1,000 feet, and the sub can stay submerged for up to a week at a time before needing to surface to take on supplies. Perhaps the most epic thing about the Phoenix 1000, though, is that it actually comes with its own mini-sub that can dock alongside it. This allows guests to go on a more intimate trip if they want, and can go much lower to a depth of 2,000 feet, and it can also be used as a transport vessel to take people back to the surface, which means the main sub itself can remain beneath the waves. Number 1. The Carapace. The most incredible submarine design in the world at the moment is undoubtedly the Carapace. And while a buyer is yet to come forward with the estimated $2 billion needed to build the hybrid yacht and sub, its designers hope that there will be one sailing the oceans at some point this decade. The 256-foot-long vessel has everything on board you'd expect from a yacht across 3 levels, including multiple VIP cabins, a lounge, a spa, a bar, and a health club, as well as hangar bays that could hold the tenders and water toys if you like jet skis and slides. Powered by a diesel, electric, and fuel cell system, the Carapace will have a cruising speed of 16 knots on the surface, but at the flick of a switch, it will be able to submerge itself to a depth of 986 feet. So long as there are enough supplies for the people on board, it'll be able to stay underwater for up to 10 days at a time, and it's so aquadynamic that it doesn't lose much speed at all, and will be able to cruise around at 13 knots. As well as being targeted at billionaires looking for the next class of giga yacht, the Carapace is also being positioned as the ideal vessel to be hired for a corporate retreat, where important meetings can be conducted on the sea floor without any prying eyes finding out any secretive information.